you for joining us. We'll start by introducing ourselves. I'll let everyone tell you about themselves. I'll start myself with my bio. I'm Yavin, founder and managing partner at Cointelligence Fund, a crypto VC fund focused on investing in the metaverse and blockchain-based games. I'm considered to be a serial entrepreneur. Started my first company before I turned 20. Since then, started and developed different companies over the years. And a little bit more than 5 years ago, I started Cointelligence as a research company when I joined the industry. Carl, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Owen. Great to be on stage with you again, bud. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Cal Evans. I'm the managing associate of Gresham International. I'm an international lawyer, and I specialize in the crypto space. I make a point of drawing the distinction between crypto lawyers and lawyers that work in crypto. I'm definitely just a crypto lawyer. Outside of that, I'm proud to do a lot in the industry, do a huge amount of government-led work, worked with the governments of Dubai, Estonia, Sharjah, various other different jurisdictions. I've written a book, The Little Book of Crypto. If you're ever bored and you need a good night's read, you can grab a copy of that. And I've also done a reasonable amount with some other funding and some other startups as well. So it's very cool to be here and great to be back in Malta again.
Hi, I'm Eugene. Even it says my position in one of our portfolio projects, but I'm an operating officer in a Yard Hub, which is a Web3 venture studio. What we do, we develop a portfolio of different Web3 projects, from play-to-earn games to learn-to-earn to B2B solutions. That's it.
Hey everyone, my name is Özge. I'm a partner at QNBEYOND Ventures, which is like a VC arm of one of the biggest financial institutions in MEA. We do early stage direct investments into startups, and we also have some LP positions in some well-known funds in Europe and US.
Hi everyone, this is Civan. Our company, Funika, have different businesses, more than I think 5 different sectors. But we have also have building Web3 games, DApps, and develop blockchain technologies. Our family fund is also investing in US and in Turkey. We have different also funds of funds in US. So I'm entrepreneur and investor at the same time.
Thank you, everyone. So just to start off the conversation, obviously the topic is how to be founder friendly. And I'll let everyone say what's on their mind, and then we'll see how long we'll have for some follow-up questions. But just to give you background for the topic, so it's very well known in the blockchain and crypto industry that investors are supposed to help the founders, and obviously others are supposed to help the founders. But just to clarify, it's not just helping them in general as customed in other industries. It's very, very specific, focused. And when you do reach out to founders in our space, they will interview you and they will ask to know how you can actually practically help them. And the biggest question that I'll have, if time allows, after the first question is asking about examples and so on. But let's start with the first main question, what it means to be founder-friendly, in your opinion.
Yeah, it's quite an expansive question, right, On? I say to people that the blockchain, crypto, Web3, esports, gaming space is a lot like living in Los Angeles. For those of you that ever have, you'll know that everybody's working on a project. You know, oh, I'm your Uber driver, but actually I'm working on this project, or, you know. So everybody you meet is always doing something cool. I think to be founder-friendly, you have to appreciate that everybody in this particular industry has an incredibly diverse and transferable skill set. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people miss. I think that whenever we talk about people creating a startup in this industry, or to be founder-friendly, you kind of miss that big point of, we're not talking about, you know, the dot-com bubble years ago. We're not talking about the cloud or the big data wave. We're talking about people that actually have real, intrinsic value, that have something important to bring to a project, and they're usually starting that project out of some kind of love or some kind of discovery of a niche in the industry. And being involved in that very early on gives you the ability to kind of say to people, look, whether you're an investor or whether you're the other side of that coin, a founder yourself, to try and split, I call it splitting the dream. And splitting the dream is where, when you're a founder, you have a dream. I want to build this because I believe in this. When you're an investor, your dream is very different. It's, I want to maximize my portfolio. And somewhere in the middle, you have to meet. So what you do is you bring that transferable skill set as a founder. You say, this is why I'm good. And as On was rightly saying, when you're an investor, you bring your skill set. Oh, this is what I can bring to you. And what's really cool about this industry is we've never really seen that before. Because years ago, it used to be, I have the money, you have the skill, let me give you this and you go away and build it. And I'll intermittently check in on you. But now, actually, it's very different. It's, well, I'm a founder, but what do you bring for me? Or I'm an investor, and how can we collaborate more? And that's really cool. And I think being founder-friendly in this industry, in this environment, is about understanding that relationship more and about nurturing it and really building something together.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to elaborate on what Cal said. Working with a lot of founders, I think it's very important, to find the balance between their passion for the product and for what you can bring, because as you said, a lot of investors, they just bring a lot of expertise and they try, to say to the founders, do this, do this, do that, and you can kill the passion for the product, because you can kill their dream, because they have seen something, they work hard, and then a lot of people from outside world come and they start telling founders what to do and how to do it, and then you can just, lose the spark, and it will just kill the idea and kill the product.
I want to divide this founder-friendly topic into 4 different stages, if you will. Before you make the investment, during the investment process, and after the investment. So, if you want to get into the best of the best deals, you want to partner with the best of the best startups and founders, that means most probably, if you're not the best of the best fund out there, the tier 1, which we are not, at least not since right now. Hopefully that will change in 10 years. You have to chase them. You have to chase those entrepreneurs. So you have to know that there's a really interesting person right in front of you. You have to show the respect before you make this investment. You have to show you care about their time, about their passion, and then you have to show you can be helpful, even if you do before you do the investment. That's how we always roll, because we like to be the first institutional check, and we're competing with well-known VCs, even in Turkey as well, and in Europe. So we have to show that we care and we can, act on it. So that's how I see being founder-friendly before making the investment. And that even starts with how fast you communicate with them. How fast are you when you're replying to their emails? How quick are you when you're saying, no, sorry, we're not interested, right? Getting the rejection quickly is so important, right? As a founder as well. The founders out there would know that. During the investment process, Cal would know this very well. You work with the lawyers, there's some terms. I mean, you can't be an asshole when you're trying to make the deal, because you can do it once, twice, or 3 times. Even for a CVC like us, we have a huge, like a mothership company behind us. If we act like we're the superior side on the other, like on the table, it's not going to work for us in the long run. Because although every single founder should do their own diligence when they're getting investments, and most of them don't do it, like the word gets out. People would know. Like they would say, okay, don't touch Özge. He's an asshole. Like the terms they have, like it's bullshit. Never take their money.
I have heard that, by the way.
Yeah. You did? He's kidding. So during the process, you have to have those founder-friendly terms. And like in US, in Europe, they're like pretty much standard. Like the site letters, what you can ask, what is off market, what is on market, that's pretty standard. So that's the being founder friendly during the investment process. After the investment, for instance, I take some board seats, I'm sometimes observers, I'm sometimes one of the directors. You can, like, our style is we don't like to intervene much. Like maybe not at all, to be honest. We like to be hands-off. Obviously, we do have some balance and checks and everything. And we like to build the respect, so the founder genuinely is curious about our ideas, recommendations. So we like to be the first call, and they will call us when it's the good times and it's the bad times. So we try to give that trust and say, hey, most probably this is not going to work. Statistically, it's not going to work. But what if it works? It's going to be awesome. So don't worry. You can tell everything, what's happening in the company, all the shits, all the good stuff. We're there. We're one of your first believers. We would like to be on your side for 10 years, 15 years, whatever it takes. So during the board meetings and everything, we usually 90% always take the founder's side. Obviously, if the founder's out of his way, maybe they're in a something they want to do which is kind of nonsensical. When we look at our own data, we share that. We say maybe you can take this route as well because of this, what we saw. So that's being founder friendly after you do the investment. Just to give though a little bit an example. We know Sequoia is one of the best out there. And we know what's going on with the SPF, FTX, Sequoia thing. We know FTX didn't have the board, everybody's criticizing Sequoia and everything. But I think you don't actually have to have the board to prevent this. Because to be honest, Cal would know much better than me with his experience. But if the founder's out of their mind, they want to do something bad, they would do it anyways. You can't stop them, I think. That's what I see. So we start with the belief is that this guy's genuine, they have the good intentions, they want to do the good, and we don't think that we should always stop them. On the contrary, we think we should always take the blocks out of the way. And that's how I see being founder-friendly.
Thank you.
As technology changing so fastly, but the most important resource, the most important value is human resource, human value. So to be friendly with the founder is, I think, the most key element of the success. And what we do, first of all, sometimes business can go not good, sometimes good. So we always check the energy of the team and the founder, and we give full support to make their best version, because I think the motivation is very important in business life, and we all because our fund is also fund of funds in US, we can see which direction money goes, and we can also see the new technologies and new products coming in Silicon Valley. So with our network, we can lead, for example, Turkish founders to develop themselves better products and recruit better human resource and meet with the correct and right investors in US. So I think networking opportunity that we give to founders is also very important. So we want them to do their best, and I think one of the most important part is the emotions, because the business can change, but the emotions, we are all humans, so the emotion management is also very important. We also support that part of it also. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for answering. Before I tell you what I think. I'll just tell you that following that, I'll ask you what kind of advice would you give to founders with regards to investors or with regards to how to avoid working with investors that are not founders friendly. And to tell you what I think, everybody talked about the positive, I'll talk about the negative parts. I would say that being founder friendly is first and foremost, don't lie to the founders. Don't promise the founders the moon. Don't promise the founders to be connected to everyone that can pump up the token price and to make your project super, super successful, because it's not going to happen. Investors are not managing the crypto startup. They are investing in it, and they might help you with this and that and so on, but they're not going to do the work for you. For some reason, as Carl mentioned before, the tides turned a little bit in our industry compared to what used to be investors investing the money, and now it's what skill set the investors got, which is fine, but it's very limited. And the second thing that I would like to mention is the fact that investors are promising the moon when they need to get allocation, and they don't get allocation. So they will do everything possible to get the allocation. But when the time comes, and I'm speaking from personal experience, because I'm actually working with our founders on a daily basis, when something goes sour, when the founders really need the help of the investors, they're not going to be there. They're going to completely disappear. They're going to completely ignore the founders. And I'm talking about the majority of the investors in our industry. I'm saying that again. That's the majority of the investors in our industry. And I recommend all the founders to actually do the proper due diligence on the investors and to actually talk to other founders and to get them to vouch for the investors and to make sure that they are actually going to help as they say that they are. And obviously, I have a very long list of other examples and other things that, in my opinion, investors and service providers in our industry shouldn't promise founders, but we don't have the time for that today. And I just want to ask the panelists to answer the question of the advice that they would give founders, especially for founders that are listening to us. And everyone got about 30, 40 seconds for this answer, please.
Yeah, so really quick. I think the short answer for this is, I use this term, the dream paradox. When you're a founder, you have the ultimate belief in your dream. You're like, I am going to build this. If I had $1 for every time I'd spoken to a founder who said, I'm going to change the world, we're going to change the world, this is brand new, this is revolutionary. And I love the passion. You have to have passion. But there's a difference between passion and complete and absolute disbelief in it. I mean, you're making things up in your head. So when I use this expression of the dream paradox, look, it is great. You have to have belief, you have to have passion in what you do. But when you approach an investor, when you approach some kind of financing, they do not share your dream. So don't approach it like they do. You have to explain it to them from the ground up. Don't get so lost in that dream that it's the only thing you fixate on, and help them understand your dream. If you approach everybody like they share your dream, you're not going to get anywhere. So try and break that down whenever you get into those conversations.
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned in the intro, you have founders come to you and say, what can you bring to the table? And I think, a lot of first-time founders, they don't ask this question, because as soon as they hear that someone wants to invest, they just go for it. So I would just say, do due diligence for whoever you're going to work with, because it's going to be a huge, huge deal.
I agree with the diligence, just like I mentioned in the first part, but like you said, if there's only one money on the table, it's hard to resist that. So what you have to do is you build a lot of relationships with a lot of investors. So the caveat is there, am I going to operate my business, or am I going to talk to these people, which some of them I don't like, some of them I might? yes, you have to talk with a lot of investors, build the relationships before you start fundraising, not when you're fundraising, before. And if you have like 10 investors in your CRM, 15, you're doing it wrong. It has to be 150, 250. And usually, that's what I always say. How many investors are you talking to? 10x that, 20x that.
I agree all with the panelists, and only just one thing. I think, as you said, being honest is one of the most important thing. Investor to entrepreneur, founder to investor both.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for the audience for listening to us. Have a great day.
Thank you.